Tomorrowland, Tomorrowland, Tomorrowland. That's right. I believe Disneyland in California is finally going to get its long-awaited announcement at D23, a multi-phase, multi-year redesign and expansion of one of Disney's most iconic lands. Hi everybody, I'm Jeff Gordon Grubs, and welcome to my D23 prediction show, where we'll be covering Disney parks and experiences from all around the globe. But before we dive into the future, don't forget to subscribe and follow Gordon Grubs on all platforms. If you love to eat, explore, and experience everything from Disney, Universal, and travel, you're in the right place. Having visited all 12 Disney parks around the world many times and creating and building lifelong friendships with Disney fans and cast members across the globe, I'm bringing you predictions that I think are both practical and logical, along with a few fun wild cards. Now, let's get back to that sensational headline. Disneyland is my home park, and for years we've been waiting for Disney to finally unveil the next chapter of Tomorrowland. My biggest prediction, D23 is where it finally happens. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and maybe Neil Patrick Harris will sing that. Here are the predictions. A complete refresh of Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters, inspired by the upgraded attractions in Shanghai and Walt Disney World. The long-awaited return of the People Mover. A brand new e-ticket attraction, replacing the former Carousel Progress building. And don't be surprised, maybe it's not announced, but Star Tours will be phased out as part of the future redevelopment plan for Tomorrowland. But that's not all for Disneyland. Here's one of my predictions that I've teased for weeks on X, formerly Twitter. In 2027, Disneyland celebrates the 55th anniversary of the Main Street Electric Parade. I think we'll see that beloved nighttime parade return for a summer celebration. And because MPH always knows how to entertain, I wouldn't be shocked if he also announces the triumphant return of the Phantasmic Dragon, bringing one of Disneyland's most iconic moments back to the rivers of America. Those are my Disneyland predictions, but now, are you ready to head across the Esplanade? Let's talk about Disney California Adventure Park. Disney California Adventure Park is in a very different position than Disneyland. At the last D23, DisneySea received some incredible announcements and is arguably undergoing its biggest transformation since the early 2010s, when Disney completely reinvented the park with Cars Land, Buena Vista Street, The Little Mermaid, World of Color, and the transformation of Paradise Pier, now Pixar Pier. Just like that era, I believe this new chapter will span multiple D23 Ultimate fan events over the coming years. Because of that, I want to set expectations. I would actually be very surprised if Disney announces any brand new attractions for Disney California Adventure Park. This year, I think the presentation will focus on giving us exciting new details on projects that are already underway. Avengers Assemble. Let's start over in Avengers Campus. I think we'll get our biggest update yet on Avengers Infinity Defense, the massive world-jumping e-ticket attraction that will send guests through portals to places like Asgard, Wakanda, and New York City as they battle King Thanos along some of the MCU's biggest heroes. And don't be surprised if some of those heroes featured in the attraction make an appearance on stage to help unveil new test footage. Next up is Stark Flight Lab, where guests board two-person pods that are grabbed and maneuvered by robotic KUKA arms inside Tony Stark's workshop. This attraction will be a huge thrill experience. My prediction, RDJ returns to the D23 stage once again, not as Doctor Doom, but appearing as the Tony Stark we all know and love, Iron Man. I also believe Disney announces that both of these attractions will open together in late summer or early fall 2027, making Avengers Campus one of the biggest reasons to visit Disneyland Resort that year. Moving over to the highly anticipated Coco attraction, I think we'll finally get an extended first look inside the experience. Expect to see test footage featuring incredible audio-animatronics, the beautiful Marigold Bridge, and perhaps a preview of some of the attraction's musical moments. I also wouldn't be surprised if performers connected to the beloved animated film take the stage for a special musical performance. While I do believe Disney is moving quickly with the goal of having Coco open before the 2028 Summer Olympics, I don't think we'll receive an official opening timeframe just yet. Now, let's talk about the project that has generated perhaps the biggest buzz and debate among Disney fans, Avatar. With the delayed closure of Monsters Inc., rumors surrounding Zootopia, and endless speculation online, many people are wondering, is Avatar happening at all? I believe the answer is yes. It's important to remember that this project is likely years away. We're looking at 2030 at the earliest, meaning there's still at least 2 more D23 events before guests experience it. because it's so far out, Disney doesn't really need to reveal that much today. I still believe Avatar is coming, and I think it will utilize the incredible ride technology we've already seen in Shanghai Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean. And here's one of my wildcard predictions. Eventually, that area will expand beyond a single attraction and be home to 2 Avatar experiences. Speaking of wildcard predictions, here's another one. I think we finally see a stage show return to the Hyperion Theater. During the hot California summers, having another major indoor entertainment option makes a lot of sense. It helps spread the crowds throughout the park and gives the guests a place to cool off. Finally, I think we'll get a brief overview of everything happening across the Disneyland Resort, including new additions coming to Downtown Disney and another tease of the long-term possibilities made possible through Disneyland Forward. Those are my Disney California Adventure Park predictions. But we're not heading to Florida just yet. There's still plenty of parks and experiences to talk about, including 2 that Disney doesn't even own. So, are you ready to head to Japan? Let's talk about Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo DisneySea. These are 2 of the greatest theme parks in the world. But before we dive into my prediction, there's something important to understand. Unlike other Disney parks we've talked about, Tokyo Disney Resort is independently owned and operated by the Oriental Land Company, not the Walt Disney Company. Because of that, major announcements are traditionally made through OSC rather than during D23 presentations. However, there's a reason I think we can still see Tokyo make an appearance. If you've been scrolling through your social media lately, you probably noticed more English language advertisements promoting Tokyo Disney Resort Vacation Package. That's because, while the original agreement limited traditional media advertising outside Japan, the rise of the internet has allowed OLC to reach an international audience in entirely new ways without breaking contract. With Disney fans from around the world at D23 and watching D23, and the yen favorable to the US dollar and euro, this could be the perfect opportunity to showcase what's next at the Tokyo Disney Resort. And I also want to set the expectations that most of these are definitely wildcard predictions. Up first, Tokyo DisneySea is currently celebrating its 25th Sparkling Jubilee, so I think we'll see a highlight reel celebrating everything happening during the anniversary. We may also get our first details about what will replace Big Bam Beat over at the American waterfront. Another possibility is an early look at the future of Aquatopia. With its closing timeline now announced, perhaps Disney and OSC are ready to begin sharing concept artwork or teasing what's next for that corner of the park. Over at Tokyo Disneyland, I think it's a fairly safe prediction that we'll receive an opening time frame for the brand new Space Mountain, one of the resort's biggest and most anticipated ongoing projects. I'd also expect another update on the Wreck-It Ralph attraction, which is currently scheduled to open in spring 2027. And here's a wild card. The OLC unveiled concept artwork for a major reimagining of Adventureland. It'd be great if D23 gives us an updated glimpse of those concepts or reveals a refreshed vision for Adventureland's future. Whether it's an evolution of those original ideas or something entirely new, I have a feeling something great is happening in Adventureland at Tokyo Disneyland. We may also hear a little bit about the OLC first ever Disney cruise ship project. It's another exciting project that's generating a lot of anticipation among TDR fans. Again, I want to emphasize that all of these are simply wildcard predictions because of the unique ownership agreement between Disney and the Oriental Land Company. Historically, OLC prefers to announce many of these projects on its own scale. But now, let's head across the globe. Do you have a croissant in hand? Because we're heading to Paris. For years, Disneyland Paris, or as they say in France, Parc Disneyland, fans have been begging for a major new attraction. Could this be the year that it actually happens after 30 plus years? Now it's important to understand the bigger picture. With Universal Great Britain currently scheduled to open in 2031, Disneyland Paris has every reason to insert itself as Europe's premier theme park destination for the next decade. I believe we'll see Disney heavily investing across this entire resort. Now, we already know what's going on at Disney Adventure World, but first, let's start with Parc Disneyland that started back in 1992. My biggest prediction is one fans have been waiting years to hear: a new attraction is coming. I believe Disney will officially announce a Star Tours Miniland coming to Discoveryland near Star Tours. Rumors have continued to swirl around the future of Autopia, and while I still think that attraction could eventually close as part of future expansion, what's interesting, looking at aerial images that land clearing has already begun, and hearing temporary office bungalows have already been removed, this has added fuel to speculation that it really is happening. My prediction is that this new area will feature a major family coaster utilizing the same manufacturer as Spider-Man, soon to open in Shanghai Disneyland, but this time with a Star Wars story. Whether it's still themed to the rumored Mandalorian and Grogu, or take guests somewhere else in a galaxy far away, we'll have to wait to D23. While we're in Discoveryland, I also think Disney throws longtime fans what they want. One of my predictions is the return of the original From the Earth to the Moon theme for Space Mountain. It'll be a wonderful tribute to the park's history while celebrating one of Disney's most unique versions of the iconic Space Mountain. Looking ahead to the resort's 35th anniversary, I think it's also a safe prediction to say that Stars and Parade will take its final bow this December, paving the way for a brand new daytime parade. I wouldn't be shocked if Disney shares early concept art or officially announces what's coming for that anniversary celebration. And here's one of my biggest wildcard predictions. Remember Disney's Beyond Big Thunder Mountain announcement for Magic Kingdom at D23 a few years back? I think Disneyland Paris gets its own version, with the horse-drawn streetcars retiring from Main Street and the ranch supporting it beyond Frontierland closing. I believe Disney is quietly preparing that section for the park for its next major expansion. And don't be surprised if the first attraction beyond Frontierland ends up being the wildly popular Coco. We could also see some news coming in Adventureland, and that includes Moana, because it's wildly popular in Park Disneyland as well. Now, let's head over to Disney Adventure World. Wow. What was once Walt Disney Studio Park and the laughingstock of the theme park community is now Disney Adventure World. The park has already undergone an incredible transformation, but there's still plenty left to accomplish. Avengers Campus, World of Frozen, Adventure Way, and Adventure Bay, and the Nighttime Spectacular has completely changed what's once a sparse second gate. I think we'll finally get an opening time frame for the up-spinning swingers, with spring 2027 the most likely target. We'll also certainly hear about the spectacular Lion King expansion. Beyond the signature water attraction, I believe Disney has one more surprise planned for that land, along with a clearer construction timeline. But here's the question many fans are continuing to ask. What happened to that third expansion pad? If it's not Star Wars, then what is it? Here's my prediction. Are you ready to try everything? It's Zootopia, with Frozen centered around a boat ride and Lion King also featuring a major water-based attraction. I think Disney will want something completely different to round out that park. Rather than simply copying Shanghai Disneyland, I believe Paris will give an all-new interpretation of Zootopia designed specifically for this resort. We may also hear another update on the continuing transformation of Disney Village, but overall, I think Disneyland Paris fans are gonna leave D23 very happy. Now, time to head over to Disney's smallest park, but the one that is starting finally to exceed expectations. Let's jet over to Hong Kong Disneyland, the little castle park with a big castle now that could. If there was ever a Disney park that proved patience pays off, it's this one. Hong Kong Disneyland is coming off tremendous attendance during its 20th anniversary celebration, and boy was it magical. After years of investment and expansion, the resort is finally beginning to turn a profit. One trend that's been especially interesting is the growing number of Japanese guests choosing Hong Kong Disneyland over Tokyo Disney Resort. Whether because it's closer for certain travelers, offers a more relaxed atmosphere, or simply provides a different Disney experience, it's certainly been a welcome boost for the resort. And now, the future looks even brighter. We know the Pixar Entertainment expansion, complete with a brand new stage show, is on the way. D23 will officially confirm a late spring 2027 opening, giving fans another reason to visit the resort. I assume we'll also hear about the musical numbers during that stage show. Over in Tomorrowland, we'll also get another look at the new Spider-Man themed drop tower. From everything we've seen so far, it appears to be inspired by Tower of Terror and Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, but this time with a Marvel twist. I believe that attraction is going to likely target a 2028 opening, and D23 should give us a better idea of where that construction stands. But what comes after this? Here's one of my first wildcard predictions. Keep an eye on Adventureland. Tarzan's treehouse, it's been dormant for a while now. I think Disney has a tremendous opportunity to expand the footprint of one of the most popular modern franchises to the park, Moana. Whether it's a family ride, a log-through flume, or something entirely new, I could see Moana expanding their home in Adventureland in Hong Kong Disneyland. The character is wildly popular throughout Asia, and it feels like a natural fit for Hong Kong Disneyland's next major expansion. And if you want an absolute wild card, imagine Duffy and Friends receiving their very own dark ride. The characters have become an absolute phenomenon throughout Asia, especially at Hong Kong Disneyland. While many international Disney fans know Duffy and Friends through their meet and greets and merchandise, I could absolutely imagine them headlining a charming family dark ride unique to Hong Kong. It's definitely a long shot, but that's what makes these wild card predictions fun. It probably won't happen. Beyond the attractions, I also think we'll hear more about the continuing renovations at the Hong Kong Disneyland Hotel and other resort-wide enhancements designed to elevate the guest experience as attendance continues to grow. The future has never looked brighter or more magical for Hong Kong Disneyland. But I know our Florida fans have been patiently waiting, said, what about Florida? Be fair to Florida. So let's finally head to Walt Disney World, and we're gonna kick things off at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom is changing forever, and I think that's a huge win for guests visiting this incredible full-day park. Yes, I said it. At the last D23, Disney officially unveiled Tropical Americas, and I believe this year's presentation is where we finally start to learn much more about what this exciting new land has in store. Let's begin with one of the marquee attractions, Encanto. I think we'll finally learn the attraction's official name, along with much more about its story and overall ride experience. Given how the magical world of the Magical family, it's my prediction that this attraction will take inspiration from Mystic Manor at Hong Kong Disneyland. A combination of practical sets, incredible audio-tronics, and projection technology feels like the perfect way to bring Casita and the magic of Encanto to life. I also expect Disney to reveal more details about the beautiful hand-carved carousel coming to Tropical Americas, including which Disney classic characters guests will be able to ride. And of course, it's Gordon Grubs, so let's not forget about the food. I think we'll get a first real look at the dining location like the Hacienda, along with other restaurant and snack locations that will help bring the culture and flavors of Tropical Americas into the park. As for an opening timeline, I believe the Encanto attraction, carousel, and much of the surrounding Tropical America land will debut in fall or late 2027. Which brings us to the other side of Tropical America. Indiana Jones! What's happening over there? And more importantly, will it open alongside Encanto? While Disney is clearly moving at a very, very impressive pace, I think the Indiana Jones attraction will arrive a little later, likely targeting winter or spring of 2028. I do believe we'll learn more about the attraction's story and exactly how it will be different from its counterparts in Disneyland and Tokyo DisneySea. And I won't even compare it to the one in Paris because, well, just thinking about that really hurts my back. That coaster is absolutely wild. I also wouldn't be surprised if Disney pays tribute to the Boneyard by incorporating a few subtle references into the new playground near the Indiana Jones attraction. It'd be a fun way to honor Dinoland while staying central to whatever theme Indiana Jones has with their story and their attraction. Now, here's one of my wildcard predictions and hopes and suggestions. One thing I would love to see is Disney incorporate live animal habitats featuring species native to Central and South America throughout Tropical Americas. After all, this is still Disney's Animal Kingdom, and thoughtfully integrating animals into the new land would make it feel even more authentic while staying true to the park's original mission. Beyond Tropical America, there have always been whispers about finally fixing the legendary Yeti on Expedition Everest. A new nighttime spectacular utilizing drone technology rather than fireworks, creating a nighttime experience that's more considerate of the park animals. Either one of those announcements would be an incredible surprise and a perfect way for Neil Patrick Harris to get the crowd on its feet. We're not leaving Walt Disney World just yet. Before we jump back across the globe, let's head over to another kingdom, the original park of Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom. The last D23 left Magic Kingdom fans with a mix of excitement and later with disappointment. On one hand, Disney finally announced the long-awaited Villains Land, something fans have been dreaming about and wanting for years. On the other hand, the announcement of Piston Peak National Park, inspired by Cars, came at the expense of the park originals like the Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer's Island, and the Liberty Bell. Whether you love these announcements or hated them, one thing is certain: Magic Kingdom is about to experience one of the biggest transformations in its history. And I believe this year, D23 will finally get fans excited for the incredible decade and transformation ahead. We'll get to those massive expansion projects in just a minute. But first, I want to talk about something I believe is happening much sooner. I think Festival Fantasy Parade is finally preparing to take its final performance. While it's become a regular staple and somewhat of a Disney classic, the parade is showing its age. And I believe Disney is ready to unveil its next daytime parade. I wouldn't be surprised if D23 gives us our first concept art and announces a brand new parade arriving within the next 1 to 2 years. I also think we'll receive a major update on the beloved Carousel of Progress. Expect our first look at the new Walt Disney audio animatronic, along with a better understanding at how this version will differ from the one already at Disneyland. And yes, I think they're going to improve on its face. I also think we'll hear that iconic song, "There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow," as Disney shares concept art of the updated scenes that will carry this attraction into the next chapter. Now, let's get back to the project the next major project I believe will be completed first: Piston Peak National Park. I think we'll learn much more about the headline Cars attraction, including its official name, new test footage, and exactly how guests will experience this amazing off-road adventure Disney teased at the last D23. We'll also finally hear more about that family attraction that will make the experience more enjoyable for people of all ages. And here's one of my predictions. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney introduces an interactive playground inspired by California Adventure's Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, but this time themed to the world of Cars. It will be a fantastic addition for families and help balance the thrills with something younger guests can enjoy. While I don't think Disney is ready to announce an official opening date just yet, my prediction is that Piston Peak opens in early 2029, meaning we still have another D23 before guests finally hit that trail. But now, let's talk about that project that everyone is waiting for. Villains Land. Fans want details, and I think this is finally the year we start getting them. I expect Disney to reveal early concept art and officially introduce the two main marquee e-ticket attractions planned for the land. The first, I believe, will be a massive dark ride using technology similar to Zootopia Hot Pursuit at Shanghai Disneyland. Expect a thrilling adventure through multiple villain-inspired worlds filled with incredible audio animatronics, practical sets, effects, twists, turns, and surprises around every corner. And much like Rise of the Resistance using the same technology, expect an elaborate multi-layered queue featuring immersive environments and cast members fully committed to their roles, making the experience begin long before guests even board the attraction. The second headliner, I believe, will lean much toward the thrills. It's not going to be the rumored online Emperor's New Groove coaster. I do expect a coaster featuring elements with show scenes that tell storytelling throughout the experience. But Villains Land is not just about the attractions. I think Disney will unveil the concept art for the incredible signature restaurant and a villains themed lounge, and get a first real look of how that land transforms from day to night. And you add in that unique merchandise locations, character encounters, and entertainment, it suddenly feels like every Disney villain has been summoned to one unforgettable place. I also have a feeling Disney is holding back one more surprise. Because Villains Land likely won't open until sometime after 2030, I wouldn't be shocked if D23 introduces an additional experience we haven't even heard about yet. And speaking of expansions, I'm also hoping to hear more about the future of the area surrounding Haunted Mansion. A themed lounge still feels like a natural fit, doesn't it? And I'd love to see Disney create a seamless transition pathway from the playful, ghostly charm Grim Ghost into a darker, more sinister world of Villains Land. Now here's a rumor swirling online for Magic Kingdom. What if Disney completely rebuilt Space Mountain? And let's be honest, it's no secret the attraction has become a bit of a backbreaker, and eventually a major rebuild will make a lot of sense. I don't think that happens until Piston Peak opens and Magic Kingdom has additional capacity to support that, but imagine Neil Patrick Harris ending that portion of the presentation with one final surprise Space Mountain is getting a complete reimagining. That would certainly bring the house down. Now, before we continue our D23 predictions, if you're enjoying the video, be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and follow @GordonGrubs across all social media platforms. I'll be at D23, bringing you live updates, breaking news, and plenty of coverage throughout the event, so you won't want to miss it. And if you see me around, say hello. Now, we could stay in Florida, and I know a lot of Florida fans would absolutely love that, or maybe it's time to set sail. Let's take a quick look at the future of Disney Cruise Line before we're returning to Disney parks around the world. Now, let's set sail and talk about Disney Cruise Line, because I think this could be one of the more interesting parts of the Disney Experience's presentation, even if we don't get a huge number of announcements. First, let's talk about the Disney Believe. I actually don't believe we're gonna hear much about this ship during the showcase itself. DCL has already announced that the Believe will receive its own dedicated reveal event in October after D23, which tells me they're probably saving the biggest details, the restaurants, atrium, entertainment, staterooms, and onboard experiences for that standalone presentation, rather than trying to squeeze this in an already packed Disney Experiences panel. Though I wouldn't be surprised if D23 gives us a quick teaser, perhaps announcing the Broadway-style stage show or another entertainment offering. The second prediction is very interesting. There's been news swirling online that Disney may have shortened the original operating commitment for the Disney Adventure in Singapore from 5 years to 3. If that turns out to be true, I wouldn't be shocked if the company is already thinking about where the Adventure could sail next in the Asia-Pacific region. And honestly, one of my favorite places to go, Hong Kong, makes a lot of sense. Imagine being able to pair a Disney cruise aboard the Adventure with a visit to Hong Kong Disneyland. With the resort continuing to expand and evolve, it would create an incredible vacation package for Disney fans throughout Asia and international travelers alike. Again, that's purely my prediction, but it's one that I think would make a lot of strategic sense for Disney Cruise Line. Now, let's talk about what I think could be the biggest cruise announcement we actually get at D23. 3 smaller ships, currently unnamed, are coming to the Disney Cruise Line. This will be coming over the next decade. Disney has already confirmed they're going to be noticeably smaller than the Wish class, and personally, I think that's fantastic news. Don't get me wrong, I love what Disney has accomplished with the Wish, Treasure, Destiny, and the upcoming Believe and the Oriental Land Company ship. They're stunning ships with incredible technology, beautiful design, immersive storytelling, and they redefined what a Disney cruise can be. But for those many longtime Disney cruisers, there's always been something special about the magic, wonder, dream, and fantasy. Those ships have a certain charm. They feel elegant, timeless, and a little more intimate. You don't feel overwhelmed by the size, and they offer a classic Disney Cruise Line experience that so many repeat guests fell in love with. My prediction is these new ships are going to bring some of that feeling back. Also, smaller ships can access ports that larger vessels simply can't. They can offer more destination-focused itineraries. Finally, here's one bold prediction. I wouldn't be shocked if Disney announces even more cruise ships beyond the ones already on order. Why, you ask? Why, Jeff Gordon Grubs? Because Disney Cruise Line has quietly become one of the company's biggest success stories. Demand remains incredibly strong. Sailings continue to book well in advance, and Disney has made it clear that cruises are a major pillar of the Disney Experiences business. If the company continues seeing that level of demand, announcing additional ships, even if it's simply that they've exercised options with the shipyard, wouldn't shock me or surprise me in the slightest. Whether that happens this year or sometimes before the next D23, I think we're still in the early chapters of DCL's expansion. The fleet is growing faster than ever before, and I truly believe the next decade could be the golden age of Disney cruising. But speaking of a golden age, let's leave the golden age of cruising behind and head back to the golden age of Hollywood, because it's time to return to Walt Disney World and talk about what I think we'll see next for Disney Hollywood Studios. Hooray for Hollywood! Let's make our way over to Disney Hollywood Studios, where I think we'll finally get a much deeper look at Monstropolis and what the future of the park has in store. The biggest focus, of course, will be Monstropolis. We've already seen some incredible concept art and even test footage of Disney's first ever suspended roller coaster. I think this is where Disney starts showing us how the entire land comes to life. I'd expect a closer look at character interactions with Mike, Sully, Ross, and other familiar faces, along with the entertainment, atmosphere, and immersive details that make guests feel like they're truly walking through the streets of Monstropolis. I'm also expecting Disney to finally reveal more about Harryhausen's restaurant, something fans have wanted ever since Monsters, Inc. first hit theaters. I love to see concept art of the interior, along with a preview of the menu. Imagine sushi, or food that looks like sushi, inspired by the film, colorful desserts, themed drinks, and maybe even a few monster-sized animatronic surprises. I also don't think Harryhausen's will be the only place to eat. I expect Disney to announce a quick service offering where Pizza Rizzo once stood, RIP Pizza Rizzo, specialty snacks, and of course, the popcorn buckets and souvenir sippers that would undoubtedly become fan favorites. Of course, the main attraction everyone is waiting for is Disney's first ever suspended roller coaster. I think D23 is the perfect place to show us an extended ride preview of the famous door vault chase. If Disney can capture the excitement, scale, and storytelling of that iconic scene, this has the potential to be one of the premier attractions at Walt Disney World. I'll believe we'll also receive an official opening time frame, giving fans a better idea of when they can expect to experience Monstropolis for themselves. Based on what I'm currently seeing, late 2029 isn't out of the possibility. Another mystery I'm hoping gets solved and name pronounced correctly, the Glob Theater. We've seen it in the concept art, but Disney still hasn't shared what experience it will call home. Is it a Broadway caliber production or an all-new entertainment experience? Just hopefully not the lap floor from Magic Kingdom. D23 should inform us more on what will take place in this exciting, entertaining space. A wild card prediction would be the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. It's been entertaining guests for decades, but we've all noticed the boulder is still missing. I'm hopeful D23 brings the announcement that this show moment is finally returning, restoring one of the show's biggest crowd-pleasing scenes, and making an already fantastic production feel complete once again. And finally, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney briefly discussed the future of Star Wars Galaxy Edge. Rather than a major expansion, I think we'll hear about continued character additions, entertainment updates, and ongoing land enhancement that keeps Galaxy Edge involved. With Monstropolis taking shape, new dining experiences on the horizon, and refreshing entertainment, Hollywood Studios has a lot to look forward. But now, you can take the bus or you can take the Skyliner, and let's make our way over to Epcot. After millions of dollars were poured into Epcot's transformation, many fans walked away disappointed. While Disney promised a bold new vision for the park, the end result has felt underwhelming to many guests. Aside from the addition of Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in the France Pavilion and the recently reimagined test track, there haven't been many major attractions added to the park. The new entrance plaza, well, it's certainly cleaner than what came before, but it's also very noticeably bare. And Communicore Hall, well, it's not what we hoped for. It's very disappointing. That's why I think D23 could finally be the moment Disney tells us what's next for Epcot. Now, I don't expect Disney to announce both of these projects, but I do believe we'll get one of them. The first possibility is a complete reimagining of Journey to Imagination with Figment. This had been at the top of Disney fans' wish list for years. Figment, he remains one of Disney's most recognizable park characters, and the merchandise continues to fly the shelves, and the lines through those popcorn buckets don't even try. But unfortunately, the current attraction simply doesn't live up to the legacy and hype of the original. Bringing back Dreamfinder, introducing cutting-edge effects, and creating a journey worth of Epcot's mascot would instantly be one of the biggest announcements of the entire weekend. I also wouldn't be shocked if Disney found a way to incorporate the emotions from Inside Out into a reimagined ImageWorks play area after the attraction. So joy, sadness, and the rest of the emotions, they fit naturally with the themes of imagination and creativity, giving families another interactive experience without taking over the entire pavilion. And just to be clear, I don't expect anything new to be announced with the Wonders of Light Pavilion. If that doesn't happen, then my prediction shifts to Spaceship Earth. Disney had plans to refresh this attraction before the pandemic, and while those plans were put on hold, I don't think those ideas have disappeared forever. A refreshed finale, updated scenes, enhanced lighting, and even a new narrator would give Epcot's icon the modernization it deserves while preserving everything guests already love about it. Between these two attractions, I truly believe Disney announces one, but probably not both. Now, let's move on to Disney wildcard predictions for Epcot. I think Disney finally has something up its sleeve for the Germany Pavilion, and it would be a Tangled-inspired attraction. Rapunzel and her story are a natural fit for Germany, and a live-action movie is on its way. Adding a family-friendly ride will give guests another reason to hang around Epcot and explore World Showcase while helping balance that Epcot attraction lineup. Now, don't expect a DisneySea level attraction here, but more likely the one we see at Disney Adventure World in France. Speaking of World Showcase, next year marks Epcot's 45th anniversary, and I would absolutely love to see Disney celebrate the occasion with a brand new nighttime spectacular inspired by Illuminations. I'm not saying bring back Illuminations scene or scene, but a new show that captures the same emotional storytelling, unforgettable music, and celebration of the cultures represented around World Showcase. It would be a beautiful tribute to one of Disney's greatest nighttime spectaculars while still looking forward to Epcot's bright future. And finally, let's end with one of my most unlikely predictions, but one that can be completely steal the show. What about a brand new country coming to World Showcase? Whether I think it's Brazil or Greece, World Showcase hasn't welcomed a new country in decades, and Epcot was always envisioned as the park that would continue to grow and celebrate cultures from around the world. Now, I don't expect Disney to announce a new country this year, but D23 has always been about dreaming big. Whatever Disney decides to announce, I really hope Epcot finally moves to fix some of its major foundational problems from the past and starts investing in major new experiences again. The park has a strong foundation and also some great food festivals too. Now we spent enough time traveling around the World Showcase, but if we took that idea a little more literally, let's leave Florida behind and head halfway around the world to a Disney park that's celebrating a major milestone this year. So grab your passport, no lightning lanes required or paid lightning lanes, because our next stop is Shanghai Disneyland. It's honestly incredible to look back and realize that Shanghai Disney is only celebrating its 10th anniversary. In just a short decade, Shanghai Disneyland has transformed from Disney's newest castle park into one of the biggest success stories in the company's history. According to the Themed Entertainment Association's latest attendance report, Shanghai Disneyland welcomed approximately 14.7 million guests in 2024, making it the 5th most visited theme park in the world. That's an incredible achievement for a park that's been open for only 10 years. I've had the opportunity to experience the resort over 2 trips myself, and seeing it in person tells you everything you need to know. The park is packed, Disney Town is bustling from morning until late at night, and the Disney hotels are incredibly busy. It generally feels like a resort that has outgrown its original footprint. And having visited just a year apart, I could see firsthand how much attendance had truly grown. The energy throughout the entire resort was incredible and reinforced just how popular Shanghai Disney has truly become. That growth is exactly why Disney isn't slowing down at Shanghai. Construction is moving quickly on Shanghai Disneyland's new Spider-Man themed land, which will become the park's 9th themed land and its first major Marvel expansion. The centerpiece is a thrilling Spider-Man roller coaster. D23 should show us some test footage and a Spidey animatronic. We can also hear about the themed dining, shopping, and entertainment. From everything we've seen, construction is progressing at a very impressive pace, and I believe we're looking at a spring 2027 opening. While Disney hasn't officially announced an opening date, that's my prediction. I think this coaster is going to become one of the resort's most popular attractions. The resort is already expanding beyond the berm, too. Disney's 3rd hotel is now nearing completion next to the Shanghai Disneyland Hotel and its Art Nouveau, and it will significantly increase on-site accommodations for guests. Looking ahead, Disney has also confirmed a 4th hotel that will be built as part of the newly expanded Disney Town, bringing even more shopping, dining, and entertainment to the resort. Together, these investments demonstrate Disney's tremendous confidence in the future of the Shanghai Disney Resort and reinforce that this destination is going to continue to grow over the years ahead. But I don't think what we're going to learn about Spider-Man will be the biggest Shanghai announcement we hear at D23. My prediction, I believe Disney is finally ready to announce a 2nd theme park for a Shanghai Disney resort. Now, to be clear, this is my prediction, not something Disney has confirmed, but when you look at the attendance numbers, the continued investment, the amount of available land surrounding the resort, and the incredible partnership between Disney and the Shanghai Shendi Group, all the pieces begin to fall into place. Shanghai Disneyland has become one of the flagship destinations, and every major expansion has only increased demand for the park. China has shown that it's willing to invest heavily in world-class tourism projects, and I think Disney is preparing to transform Shanghai into a true multi-park resort destination similar to what we've seen around the world and in the domestic parks. In fact, I wouldn't even be shocked if we start to hear about the Shanghai Disney 2nd park even before the panel begins with some press releases or press leaks. This happens every year. We always hear about one thing before that Disney Parks panel, and this could be one of them. Whether that prediction comes true or not, One thing is certain, the future of the Shanghai Disney Resort has never looked brighter. Spider-Man Land is only the beginning with new hotels, an expanded Disneytown, and what I believe is an inevitable second theme park on the horizon. I truly think the next decade and beyond for Shanghai Disney Resort is going to be even more exciting than its very first 10 years in its park history. And as exciting as Shanghai Disney Resort future appears, it's far from the only new Disney destination preparing for a new chapter. In fact, we know Disney's global ambitions may be bigger today than they've ever been before. From one of its fastest growing resorts to its future resort destination, let's head halfway around the world to Abu Dhabi, where Disney's preparing to write the next chapter in over 70 years of Disney theme park history. Now, let's talk about what may become Disney's most ambitious international project yet, Disneyland Abu Dhabi, in partnership with the Marvel Group. I think expectations to be kept in check for this year's D23, and honestly, that's not a bad thing. Theme parks of this scale don't come together overnight, and the creative development process can take up to 24 months before guests ever start seeing major construction. And we're well into that phase right now with Imagineering. That's why I expect this year's presentation to focus less on major announcements and more on settling in what the vision for Disneyland Abu Dhabi will become. I think we'll see some stunning new concept art, a closer look at the park's breathtaking castle, and perhaps hear a little bit more about the overall design philosophy behind the resort. Disney has already described in their own press release as being authentically Disney and distinctly Emirati, blending its iconic storytelling with Abu Dhabi's culture, breathtaking architecture, and spectacular waterfront setting. I think D23 is the great opportunity to show us what that vision will start to look like. I also wouldn't be shocked if Disney teases one attraction that will be completely unique to Disneyland Abu Dhabi. Every Disney resort has something that defines it, and I think Abu Dhabi will be no exception. Whether it's a groundbreaking dark ride, an innovative new ride system, or something we never even seen before I can't even think of, I think Disney will want fans leaving talking about that singular attraction that can only be experienced in Abu Dhabi. What I don't expect is an opening timeline, since Disneyland Abu Dhabi is still many years away, and by the time the resort welcomes its first guests, we'll probably have gone through at least 3 D23 expos, and that's perfectly normal for a project of this scale. Remember, Disney isn't simply building another theme park, it's creating an entirely new resort destination and the infrastructure from the very ground up. For me, that's what makes this year's update so exciting. It's not about finding when we're finally walk through the gates in an instruction timeline. It's about getting our first real glimpse at what Disney's vision for what could become one of the most beautiful and technological advanced Disney park ever created. And with that, we've reached the end of the ultimate D23 prediction show. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for sticking with me. We've covered every Disney resort around the globe, shared dozens of predictions, and yes, probably had a few too many outfit changes along the way. Now, it's your turn. Head down to the comments and let me know what you think you're most excited to see announced at this year's D23. Which prediction do you think is most likely to happen? And what surprises do you think Disney is keeping hidden until the big presentation? I love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this ultimate D23 prediction show, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And follow me across all the social media platforms so you don't miss any of my live coverage, breaking news, and updates throughout D23 weekend. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your incredible support. And until next time, I'll see you real soon at D23 in Anaheim.